So I want y'all to help me figure this out. TikTok got me. And I don't even go on TikTok. What's up, Facebook?
You got 20 seconds.
What's the song?
Power by Donald Lawrence and the Clark Sisters. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2.
It doesn't make you act unseemly. The power that will get you through the day, the power that will get you through the week, the power that will get you through life. And I'm talking about the power of God. It is my favorite day of the week. It is Wednesday, and that's WIN because we are winners on this day. But you know, every day is my favorite day of the week. It's your main man, Action Jackson, and you're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. Unfortunately, and I meant to learn some Portuguese before I got here because Tamara Fair is not on the air with me today because she is in Brazil. And so I'm gonna learn a little Portuguese for tomorrow so I can say something to her because I know she's tuned in. But you know what? I grew up in the church. And we were taught that you have to be ye also ready. Sometimes you're invited for one thing, and then you turn around and get there, and they're going to make you something else. So I'm glad to announce that filling in for Tamara as my guest co-host is Andrea Hill. How are you, Andrea?
I am doing awesome. Thank you so much for having me today.
Now, we're going to give a formal announcement, but she is someone you all should know. She is the Director of Operations at HMC Hospitality Group. And HMC stands for, I know Hooters. I just wanted to make sure I didn't know the MC. But Hooters, everybody, one of the best restaurants in the country. And she brought us lunch.
I did.
So if we take longer breaks, you know why. We eat. But we got a great show for you today. We're talking all things hot topics. We're going to talk to Andrea about the amazing things that HMC Hooters is doing in the community, in the country, beyond just serving you their world famous wings, seafood, fries, and all those hot grill sandwiches. Don't ask me how I know, just know I've eaten it. But believers, listen, call your friends and your frenemies and tell them to tune in to the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. Hey, it's the main man, Action Jackson. All right. So, I know it. Facebook. Oh, we got to let you in, right? Oh, Justice, what's up with Andrea? She not backstage? Check out TNC Fitness Club. Okay, thank you. So that they can see this beautiful, powerful woman. So.
Oh, my mic is on.
Hey, my people, ready to level up your kindergarten classroom game? Introducing
Turn it down,
effective kindergarten classroom.
Eval said, hey, my niece works at a Hooters. Wow, all right. Well, you're going to get to hear Andrea's story, how she started. I read a little bit in the orange shorts.
I did.
And has made her way up the corporate ladder.
Yes.
And doing some amazing things, making sure Hooters is represented very well. Okay, what are these stories? So we do hot topics. Uh-oh.
Okay. So what are your hot topics?
Well, it makes it a little bit.
Did you send these to Zoe?
Yes.
Okay.
On Wednesday, it's going to be held at our office. Just text money to 815.
Politics. Yeah, I know you have to be very careful. I want Sabrina said corporate way to go. What's up, Facebook? I don't know what's going on with Andrea's phone because I don't see her on the.
She popped up, didn't she?
No. Do you see? No.
I see you.
You're on the stream? Yeah.
Right, but she's supposed to be on there.
You got 2 minutes.
Let's try. There we go. All right, Justice, come on, man. Make sure my girl taken care of. She brought you lunch.
You're working hard. People might give Justice blue.
Thank you.
Oh, Justice. He is my favorite Gen Zer.
Is he? How many Gen Zers do you know?
Ask me how many do I like. Only one. And Demarion, I guess. I don't know. I said I guess. No, I know a lot of them. Trust me, I work with too many of them. Zoe said, lovely dress. Eval said, hey, beautiful.
Hi. Thank you.
So in the row, all eyes on one black man to make up his mind about Biden. Oh, we're gonna talk about this an easy one.
1 minute. 1 minute.
We're gonna do them both, but I'm gonna start easy. I'm gonna see if you know this story. Daily inspiration and updates. Don't forget, tune in this Saturday at 6 p.m. to the Word Network for a life-changing. What's up, Facebook? Justice is gonna come up with us some behind-the-scene questions since Tamara isn't here.
40 seconds.
Or Jarrell, because he's very controversial, so I know he could come up with something good. All the questions I think of, so my co-host Tammy comes up with nice questions to talk to the audience while we're on break. But it's always something very engaging. Mine, every time I think of something, it's kind of lame.
You got 20 seconds.
But she talk about relationship stuff, so you can come up with something we can talk about. Even said was expecting an older lady. Hello, you got a young woman.
We don't just cover imperfections, we reveal the beauty in you.
We're in the wrong. It's Tamara Fair on the Brunch Bunch.
So, of course, I'm not Tamara Fair, but we've been talking about this story and want to bring an update. So what happened to the Maryland teacher who went viral for having students take out his braids? Well, Marquise White said that he was cleared of any wrongdoing by the school district. Woo! Now, listen, I'm waiting on Jarrell to clap because we were rooting for him, bro. Wasn't you on his side this time?
100%.
Okay, good. Jarrell is our resident Republican, so I had to check with him from time to time. Now, we all remember the Maryland teacher who went viral for the wrongdoings, right? So in May, Marquise White shared a video on his TikTok where he showed his young black female students taking out his braids before his hair appointment. Now, the video led to widespread controversy from across the internet, with some claiming that no teacher should have that kind of relationship with their students, and then others like myself defending the video, saying it was innocent. Now, despite the different views, an investigation was launched against White by the Prince George County Public Schools. He defended his actions by saying that he was mainly being attacked because he is a, and I quote, young, handsome black man. So modest, right? But I'm with him when he's right. But in a recent video posted on his TikTok, White gave the public an update and said that he's allowed back in the classroom. Now, usually when they say they're going to do a transparent and just investigation, those are code words for we ain't doing nothing. He out of there. Ain't nothing about to change. But thankfully, it did change. So on Friday, July the 5th, White said, guess what? Guess who's finally received a decision from the county on behalf of the superintendent in regards to my employment status. At first, I was really bothered by how long this process was taking. But now as I'm looking back on it, I want to thank the county for taking their time and ensuring I wasn't an actual weirdo that slipped through the cracks before they allowed me back into the classroom, end quote. He also added, though, people were calling me everything under the sun, making baseless claims, allegations, and accusations against me, calling me a predator, a pedo, Diddy. No, they took it too far. You know what? People can be so harsh. Why would y'all call that man Diddy? But all those baseless claims made it back to the county. So they had to treat it as if it was an actual weirdo and look into it. So after a long, extensive, and arduous investigation, they didn't find anything. So, Andrea, so what you were on the side of, you didn't see anything wrong with it?
I didn't. My family works in childcare, and sometimes I understand to protect students. That's
right. That's number one.
First and foremost, I understand that. But I know that there can be close relationships with, and sometimes things are more interpersonal with certain people. So I did not necessarily see what's the big deal, but I also understand from optic standpoint, the world we live in, viral moments, that there are going to be people that do not care for that.
Unfortunately, you said the words viral moments, right? And we keep recording and putting stuff up.
Yes.
But I think it was a cultural thing for me too, How many of the guys in the community when we were growing up sitting on the porch, young girls just taking their hat down, your little sis, little cuz, whatever. But where I was arguing, there were so many videos of white male teachers doing similar things. Of course, not getting their braids taken down, but one video we shared was a white teacher letting young white girls bedazzle his head And so they were touching skin and putting diamonds all on his head. And nobody was outraged or calling him a pedo or for him to be. So shout out to Prince George County, which if you don't know, Prince George County is one of the wealthiest. PG County is one of the wealthiest counties, black counties. And so one day I'm gonna have a house out there, you know. So when I go to DC every September, I can just go to my crib, you know. But shout out to PG County for vindicating Marquise White. He got his job back because we need more black male educators, period.
Absolutely.
And so when stuff like this happens, it turns people away from the profession because it was like a witch hunt. So we need more things like this happening in the world for black brothers, black people across the diaspora, because right is right and wrong is wrong. But you know what? We're going to keep it right on the brunch bunch. We going to Love Theory, Kirk Franklin. Oh. Don't go nowhere. We got way more to share. Let's keep spreading love the right way. Agree. Right here on the brunch phone. Okay, your phone went out again. Who do these people keep blowing you up?
I'm at work. So
Some of the ones accusing him are dating Diddy and have children by pedophiles. This man was recorded. It wasn't touching them on the sneak. That's true. Tina said, thank God he needs to be careful because they will be looking at him if he sneezes.
Now, I say this, though. He might be an innocent man, but I know there's predatory teachers out there, G. And I know they'll try to use something like that to open the door.
Well, you know that's...
or something else, bro.
Well, why you didn't say that before we came off, man? That was a good point.
Predatory everything out there, though. Like that's in every profession. I think that sometimes we have to be protective of children. That's it right there. We have to be protective of children, but at the same time, like, we have to truly examine what is happening versus what people are saying is happening.
Yeah.
I don't think he did nothing wrong, and I don't think he deserved no consequences.
But you wanted to investigate it?
I wouldn't want my daughter to do this.
Oh, well, see, I knew his split that. Well, I get it.
And I understand that. Yeah. I understand that. I would not have been allowed to do something like that. So I have a very strict dad, and there would have been no circumstance where I would have thought that was okay. So I wouldn't have been one of those kids, no matter what he said. So I think it starts in the home, and then you go from there. But there are some of those children in there that may not have.
They don't have father figures,
things like that, and that is their comfort zone.
And that connection, and that like you said, comfort zone.
Some of the students are now father figures, so that's what they was treating.
So they look at him like a father or big brother. But I had a young man tell me something like that once, and it shocked me. It made me feel good. But he said, I had mentioned every man should have at least one black suit in their closet. And he said, oh, I've never heard that. And I said, what? He said, well, I didn't have any man in my life to tell me that. And I'm like, oh, well, it makes sense. So, you know, men, women, all our black boys and girls need it. But like you said, I would raise my daughter to not be putting her hands in a grown man's head.
There's no circumstance.
You got to be careful with that comfort zone area. But unfortunately, some people don't have that guy.
And then the slippery slope, too, because it's like, all right, what if today is I taking the head down, but tomorrow is you doing your teacher makeup. You know what I'm saying? Then they got your son doing they teacher makeup. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I told you my resident Republican. He gonna go far. But
I think that's we're talking about things.
I went to a school with predatory teachers, bro. Like that was.
I know predatory people. Bro. Period. Right. I just had a call about something like that.
Teachers, though, man. You put your kids in position to be around these adults. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different with teachers, man.
But no, you don't expect because you got predators in church, you got them at school, you got them at work when your teenagers are working these summer jobs. Yeah. So you know, predators are predators no matter what arena they in. You don't expect. First of all, I don't expect any adult to want to sexually abuse kids, right? But it happens. It's the world we live in. No, There's some sick folk out here.
I expect it.
No, I'm saying in a perfect world, I don't expect it.
10 adults in this room, bro. I expect 2 of them to be
Oh
alone.
my goodness, you in the wrong room.
Not even 10 people.
I know, but I'm just saying, if I'm in a room with 10 people, I'm not looking at 2 of them like.
I'm looking at 2 of them like when we walk up out of here, they're different people than they perceive. You know
what happened to you now?
Me?
Some of these people are teachers.
Refresh your page; it won't tick you out.
I don't know that that's me. Should I be on some type of Wi-Fi?
Oh, you're not on Wi-Fi?
No.
Oh, right, man.
Yeah, go. Oh, you did. You put on Wi-Fi?
I said I'll put it on Wi-Fi. I'll share it with you. Because it was connecting fine.
Oh man, Justin, I got to take your lunch home. No.
That's not how it works.
Eval said it's his job to disagree. LOL with you.
No,
At least they understanding my
I
character.
mean,
your life
contrarian.
experiences have shaped you to be that
But
way.
I mean, I
That's
like the
okay.
different views.
I think diversity of thought is very important, but you have to learn to disagree with harmony.
Yep.
And not let it go to a place that's not healthy.
We can talk about that when we talk about the president now. In the country. Share. There we go. I just shared it to somebody. All right. Done. There we go. Can you all still hear me? Because I just shared. You can't just have one conversation about things like that. It's an ongoing conversation. If teens go through something, they will cling to whomever pays attention. So true point too. Some people yearn. Some of our teens yearn for that attention because they not getting it from anywhere else. Well, look, I saw a video of a young black boy in a bodega in New York. He ran, so we know it's not black owned, right? He runs into the store with his report card to tell the store owner, I got honor roll, right? So clearly the guy has a relationship with him. And that might have been the only person who cared about his grades. Right. And he was so happy to go in here. And at first, I went straight black mad, like, why is he looking to the store owner? Where's the brothers at? And then I'm like, well, thank God somebody cared enough that he strived to get good grades, and then the store owner said, you can have whatever you want in the store. And so I'm like, if more kids had those type of people around, we would see our kids doing better in the community too.
I know in my experience growing up, there's a lot of teachers, people who worked in my schools who were like friends of my family and stuff like that. So I had those relationships with people. But I will say there was nothing like that going on in the classroom. When it came time for like school and class time, there was none of that. All that stuff.
The thing is, you don't know until they get caught, bro. Like, you don't know until they get caught, though, bro.
Well, most times, yeah, a lot.
You don't know until they get caught.
But that's a rare occurrence sometimes.
That they get caught?
It ain't.
But they get caught?
No, that we have people that are ill-intended and
no, I think you go to every high school in the country right now, you will find at least one relationship. Teacher student.
Oh yeah,
guaranteed.
That happened in my high school.
It only get caught 1 out of 10 schools, bro.
Listen, it happened in my high school. Oh, people.
I don't remember any of the girls dating teachers.
Go ask the girls.
But I remember the girls dating older guys that would pick them up from school.
Go ask the girls you went to high school with. I guarantee they tell you a different story.
Oh yeah, no. Or just asking me high school
students. Dudes, you feel me, getting loose. So it was like,
also, or asking me high school students.
Wait, the dudes was getting loose. Wait, what?
The dudes was having a female teacher.
Well, I grew up with all old teachers. I guess I was.
Oh, yeah,
I was at the tail end of the teachers who were retiring.
I was gonna say because my generation growing up, a lot of teachers are closer to us in age. I was a sophomore in high school. My history teacher was literally a freshman in college, like in her early 20s. So.
Well, that's a different day and age. All my teachers were like 60. Miss Bell used to whoop me. Look,
they're all mid-20s.
A different day and age.
Early mid-20s. Yeah.
I had one teacher who was 23 when I was like
18. Yeah. No, my senior year, my teacher.
Oh Lord.
20 seconds, 25 seconds.
You learn something new every day.
You do. That's why we gotta have conversations with each other.
You got 10 seconds. 10 seconds. The promise of ultimate safety that they bring to your home. Call Stacy Chauncey at 866-447-3344. Stacy Chauncey, 866-447-3344. Where's the action, Jackson?
I'll tell you what's going on. So what's going on? All eyes are on one black man to make up his mind about President Joe Biden. Democrats are looking for Hakeem Jeffries to make a decision on whether Biden should remain on the ticket, but of course he is taking his sweet time. Now, the Biden campaign has been scrambling for weeks to convince the American people that he is the right choice to run against former President Trump, and the most important cosign is that of the House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries. As time continues, it doesn't seem like the president has the support he needs from his own party, but Jeffrey's stamp of approval could be the one thing that changes the tide of the election. As of July 10th, 7 House Democrats have publicly called for Biden to drop out of the presidential race, according to the Associated Press. suggesting the Democratic Party is not as strong as they need to be heading into November. Now, most recently, New York Rep. Jerry Nadler took back his initial stance that Biden should drop out. He spoke to reporters before entering the closed-door meeting at the Democrats' national headquarters, and I quote, "Whether or not I have concerns is besides the point," he said. "Biden is going to be our nominee, and we all have to support him." Biden has repeatedly stated that he will continue to run and that he still believes he can defeat Trump. But his support is clearly shaky, and now Democrats need Jeffries to take a stance. The House Minority Leader has two choices: either come out and tell Biden to pass the torch to a younger, fresher face, or fully support the president and call his fellow Democrats to do the same. Now, although Jeffries won't be the deciding factor on whether Biden stays or not, Democrats agree that as the House leader, Jeffries' decision has the ability to drastically sway members of the party either way. And I quote, "He's really good about laying out the facts and coming in and making people go in the direction that he wants them to go," said Ohio Rep., one of my favorite, Joyce Beatty, a Biden loyalist, in an interview with CNN. "I have confidence in him that he will talk to those individuals and he will figure out how to stop the bleed and move us forward," end quote. Ever since President Biden's questionable performance at the presidential debate, Democrats, Republicans, and many voters are rethinking the 81-year-old's decision to run for re-election. Now, during the Essence Festival, Vice President Kamala Harris called the upcoming election, and I quote, "the most significant election of our lifetime," end quote, before urging voters to choose Biden. I could feel Jarrell in the background waiting. So Biden says he's staying in the race at rally. The incumbent's defined decision to see this race through could backfire in his face if he loses in November. Now, if Trump wins a second term, Democrats will more than likely blame Biden for not getting out when he had the chance, which experts say could damage his legacy. First of all, if he loses, his legacy is damaged. That's secondly, the views and opinion of Action Jackson are those of Action Jackson, right? I think that President Biden should step down. But on the flip side, lately, I've been thinking maybe he should stay in and Kamala, you gotta get the dump button. I ain't gonna say nothing. But just in case, thank you. If he happens to, first of all, this country is not ready for an African American woman president, right? And I don't think a black woman running on her own would be elected in this season of this country. So the only way we would get a black woman president is if Joe Biden wins and then steps down, and then Kamala assumes the position. And yes, we've made history. Okay. If he does not step down, Trump is going to be our president again, and Jarrell will be happy, and some other people in this country. But Andrea, what are your thoughts on this presidential race right now in Joe Biden?
It is an absolute disaster and disgrace.
Yes.
And all of us should be embarrassed.
You know what?
Individually and collectively, that we are here.
It is sad. And I said a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week, I said, data has shown that presidents age like 20 years in 4 years, right? And so we can see the difference between President Biden 4 years ago and today. So we can see that aging. But then, and I'm not an ageist, right? I don't think you should put seniors out to pasture and they need to relax. But we are talking about the leader of the free world. And we are talking about an election that's between the forces of good and evil. I'm like a comic book, right? Don't you look at Jarrell like, what are you talking about evil? But that's what it's boiling down to, right? Either we're going to have another Trump presidency or we're going to have Biden who, I don't know, another 20 years on 81 years is how many years? 101, but so, I don't know. We, like you said, it is a disgrace that we're here. And Jarrell, if you have anything you want to say, but I do want to say this. A Trump presidency, because we know him, is a presidency of what is not lies. I mean, the word I want to say is, he gonna get everybody back who came after him. So because he's vindictive. He's revengeful presidency. And I don't want to see, and with the Supreme Court coming out saying that he cannot be criminally charged. So he can have M5 kill his opponent and they can't do nothing about him scares me because he seems like the type of guy that would would do that. But I will say he did say he was coming after, and he one thing I respect about anybody who tells their truth, right, is that he tells the truth. He said when he's elected, he's coming after the Biden family. He's coming after Letitia James in New York. He's coming after all these people who he believes came out for a witch hunt for him because he said they're only attacking him because they're the real dirty ones. So
No president can save you. You just better put your trust in the Lord.
hey, you know what that sister say? Well, you know what? The Bible does teach us that the heart of the king is in the master's hand. So no matter who's in the White House, who's in the State House, or who's in the mayor's house, we need to keep our faith, trust, and belief in God. Because you know what? David slayed Goliath, and giants do fall. It's Donald Lawrence, Giants, right here on the Brunch Line. Oh, great song and segue. All right, up next, Andrea Hill, the woman making it happen at Hooters. So we're just going to talk all things you and Hooters. You want to touch a little on Polished Pebbles?
I can talk on anything that you want to talk to me about.
All right.
I'm not shy.
Let's talk about why that Instagram so boring.
We can talk about that because I am good in real life. I put all my effort into when I'm with people and not necessarily people watching.
That's good. That's good. Unfortunately, I am like that, right? So I'm in the moment, but I got a different platform. So I am in the moment. So I miss moments that I could post, or I post them kind of later, but I have learned to look. We here, we're gonna have a good time.
Yes, that's what I think is most like time. Time is not promised to anybody. So I want to spend it with people, and then I mainly use it to communicate with people because people communicate on there. It's not like they won't answer a text, but they'll answer a DM.
Now it's like, hey, let's connect. What's your IG? Somebody did me like that the other day. I got my phone ready to put the number in. Like, oh, no, what's your Instagram? I'm gonna DM you the info. I'm like, good text it to me, but okay.
That's how it is.
Amen, Andrea, because God will have the final say when men become lovers of themselves.
I agree.
Eval said, yes, amen, Lady A. All right, I said the same thing. Zoe, Trump wants to be a dictator. No way he should be running. Well, listen, he get elected, and the Supreme Court is cooked. Yeah, because then he can start changing laws.
Doesn't matter.
Trump may change it where he can run again and again.
But both of them have been the president, and we ain't seen no significant changes from last.
You know about that project?
America on autopilot. America on autopilot. You can change the presidents out like they changed managers and McDonald's, bro.
I don't believe that to be so true.
The president don't got as much power as we think they do, bro. There's people that own the country that make decisions, bro. The president just there to keep everybody calm and stuff.
No, the president impacts the economy. He impacts what's happening legislatively. He has a lot of impact.
So justice.
Now, if Trump wins, he's going to pardon Larry Hoover. I think some Chicagoans may be happy about it.
Was your bills any less or was your check any more? What I'm trying to say is the livelihood of your life is not going to change.
There were a few things that changed.
Because your faith is in God. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Praise the Lord. Bro.
Come
what
on.
he said was the best thing, bro. It's like putting your faith in these guys ain't really.
Well, that's true.
Nobody's coming to save.
Nobody coming to save.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like they ain't gonna change your life, bro.
But taxes do go up and down. The economy goes up and down. But God provides. God provides either way, right?
Let me answer your question.
I am an independent. I vote people, not party. But the more money you make, the more you pay attention to taxes too.
Based on your question, when Trump was president, things didn't immediately change, but we're still dealing with a lot of the blowback that people are blaming.
Women's rights have been botched thanks to Trump.
That's been going wrong at least these past
You can't get an abortion no more?
Not in a lot of places. Good food, Hooters, and beautiful woman. DJ B-Lo said, good food, Hooters, and beautiful woman.
30 seconds.
All right.
get these old dudes out of office.
Well, we do need some young, fresh ideas across the board.
See, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Giants do fall, but you know who allows you to knock a giant out? That's nobody but God. So you got to put your trust, faith, and belief in God. Joining us today on the Brunch Bunch, she's been filling in so graciously as our guest co-host. She is, though, Andrea Hill, the Director of Operations at HMC Hospitality Group. Andrea started as a Hooters girl in Chicagoland and rose to leadership roles, forging strategic partnerships and spearheading community initiatives. Her dedication to growth and community impact makes her a standout in the hospitality industry. And if you've been blessed to know her personally, she is an amazing woman who likes to have a good time and light up any room. We want to give a warm brunch bunch welcome to Andrea. So officially, welcome to the Brunch Bunch.
Thank you.
Thank you for filling in and giving your commentary. You dropped the mic on that last one. You know, it don't matter who in office, trust God. And you know what? You shut all of us up. But Andrea, let's talk about your start with the HMC Hospitality Group.
Okay.
And what drew you to the company initially?
So that story doesn't paint me in the best light.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell it because it's worth telling, because all things happen for a reason. Right?
That's right.
You gotta work it all out. So I got in trouble with the bank.
Okay.
This was many, many years ago, and I did not understand that if you cashed the check, the money wasn't there instantly. And I went shopping. And as a result of that, I had to ask my parents for money. But the week prior, maybe like 2 weeks prior, I called my dad out of a sales meeting. I made him think it was an emergency. And really, I just wanted to go to a Roy Jones Jr. fight.
Oh.
And he was furious because when somebody comes in to a sales meeting and says your child in Florida is having an emergency and you hear that she just wants money to go to this Roy Jones Jr. fight, he was livid and he hung up on me. And I was furious. And he gave me the money.
Okay.
So when he gave me the money, I said, oh, you know, it's my dad, right? Oh, I'll never ask for money again. And he said with this sarcasm in his voice and this nasty attitude that I didn't care for, basically, yes, you will. And I'm very feisty and competitive. I'm like, no, I will not. So when I got in trouble with the bank, I'm like, I cannot ask this man for money. I will literally be saying that he won and I can't let him win. And there weren't any restaurants that were hiring people that didn't have experience. Hooters was the only one. So that's how I ended up working at Hooters.
Wow.
I don't have the good story. Like, I went to work there, this and that. It was like
you needed that money. You didn't want to ask your daddy.
I couldn't ask him.
And you said, all right, Hooters going to let me come up in.
I've never asked him for money since.
Oh, well, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Years ago, so, yeah.
Wow. So, Hooters, you think fast casual restaurant, right? Well, no.
Casual dining.
Casual dining, because it's not fast casual.
We have a fast casual.
You have a Hoots. I was going to say, I'm seeing Hoots in my mind in Cicero. Casual dining, you went to work at Hooters, you got the orange shorts.
I did.
And then your life has changed. You hadn't looked back since, and I saw that you went to school for broadcast journalism.
I did.
So how did you, because sometimes people say, well, I've been stuck here, but you weren't stuck there. You were destined to be there. Let's talk about the journey.
So that's a very interesting story. So I wanted to work in the TV industry because I loved people and I wanted to interview people. So that was my direction. I wanted to tell people stories, help people tell their stories. And while I'm working at Hooters, every day you're meeting somebody new. When you're at the table, you're interviewing them. And you're basically listening to their story. Now, I know people don't look at it like that, but that's how I looked at it. And I was working with my friends, and it was awesome and amazing. But I still wanted to work in the TV industry. So when I graduated, I did. And it was not what I thought at all. Like, at all. And I realized very quickly that I needed to figure something else out. I just didn't know what. But because I was still having fun at Hooters and flexible schedule, and I was really good at my job, I just quit the TV industry and went back full time and started traveling. What I didn't realize was our former COO, he was upstairs from the restaurant that I worked at the time. And he just saw how I interacted with people and thought that there would be something for me in the corporate office. So he slowly, most of the leaders saw something else. So they slowly started getting me involved in different things. And then one day they asked me to move to New York City. to oversee marketing.
Wow.
And this is the part of the story I'm supposed to say, and it was like my dream or whatever. I cried my eyes out. I had no desire to move to New York.
Are you serious?
Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, they got rats. They got public transportation. I don't want any of that. So I called my father, and he said something that stuck with me. He said, if you don't go, that's fine. But if they never ask you again, you have to be okay with that. And I wasn't. So that's what made me move to New York. And my career took off in a way that I couldn't even dare to dream or imagine.
Well, I love that because you never know who's watching you, right?
No.
And I often tell my young people when I'm working with them, just because they don't say anything to you don't mean they don't see anything in you.
That is correct.
And so you have to be very careful how you move and how you operate. So what are some of the challenges you face while moving up from the orange shirts to the corporate office?
So there were quite a few. I was in a brand new city without my friends and family. So that was challenging. That'll shake you at your core. So you have to be rooted in faith. But also I'm in marketing, and shortly, I went from orange shorts to marketing to operations with no traditional operations experience. So most people in my role and at my level, they have managed restaurants, and I did not.
Wow.
But the people that I worked for, again, they saw in me something. They said, we can teach you to blocking and tackling. We can't teach what you have as far as people. So I literally transcended departments without any of that stuff that you have. So that is a challenge because you're hard on yourself. First of all, I'm a Black woman in the hospitality world, and very few people look like me at the level that I'm at, which I pray changes. But when it wasn't changing was when I was in New York. So every room that I'm in, you automatically feel everybody has more experience, everybody is smarter. But I stopped that right away because, again, it's who God tells you are. And I was like, oh, I'm here. Yeah. Nobody can take it away from me. So my ideas, they don't have any ideas, and I have ideas. So my ideas are the best ideas.
Yeah. Because they're God-given ideas.
Yeah, they were. And I trusted I was there for a reason. And I trusted that I could do things differently because I'm different.
So you've been with Hooters a few years now. You're a young lady, so you're moving fast. Most companies during the pandemic had to downsize, a lot closed. We saw brands disappear, but you kind of excelled. You kept things going. How did you navigate the challenges of rebuilding teams and increasing sales during the pandemic?
That was hard. I'll be honest, that was hard. We had to pivot a lot. We were very fortunate. Like, our New York market closed down. So I moved and got a promotion during the pandemic, which is crazy.
Look at God.
Region, exactly. But when I came back, the industry was devastated. There were lots of mandates that people couldn't even go in restaurants and eat. Where we were incredibly blessed in Chicago was that the to-go market had boomed years prior, and we were on those third-party platforms. So what we found out is, yes, some people go to Hooters for the experience, but a lot of people go for the food.
Yep.
And that sustained us. And my team and I, it wasn't just me, built off that and made sure we had who we needed in order to capitalize off that. And we started looking for people that wanted to work for us that didn't have the traditional experience. And to me, that's what saved us.
Wow. And you know what? It just came back to me. And I told you, I said, well, I don't often go to Hooters, right? And not because I don't like food, but you know why I know Hoots, the fast casual? Because during the pandemic, I was ordering those wings and crab legs to the door.
It is the same great food. We literally have the same great food at Hooters. It's just not a full service experience because we have had success with our food. We believe in our product.
Wow. That's an amazing story. Your story is inspiring. Tina on Facebook said, wow, look at God. He don't always call those who are qualified, but he qualifies who he calls.
Yes, he does.
All right. And you're a prime example of that.
I know this wasn't my plan. This had to be God's plan. There is no way.
And I know you are all in for Hooters. You even came in the orange Hooters dress today.
Look at my brand colors.
So, Andrea, let's talk about some of the things Hooter does on the community level, because you've been very instrumental in bringing programs, supporting programs. Talk to us about that for those of us who know the great food, but we don't know the great community impact.
That is my favorite thing to talk about because it's one of my favorite things about the company. Now, Hooters has been involved in the community for years and years and years, and people don't know. But I feel like there was more that we could do in Chicago and New York that we just weren't doing. And I think some people are afraid to align with us because of the uniform. So it's going to find the community partners. If they weren't going to come to us in Chicago, I said, then I'm going to them. So that's what I did. So we aligned with the Flow Foundation. We aligned with Polished Pebbles. We aligned with Arose. We aligned with P3. We aligned with, I mean, those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. But there are quite a few because the reality.
Some great organizations.
I think so.
Especially shout out to Polished Pebbles.
I love Kelly Fair.
Kelly Fair, they're using our Dream Center Westside location for their CEO program.
Yes.
And of course, P3, who funds a lot of our clients through their Tech Rise program.
So we might be thinking of a different P3. P3 is a scholarship program, 3 doctors.
Okay, but they're doing great work too. Look, let's shout them all out.
Maybe there's another one, yeah.
Well, let's definitely. And so what are some of the initiatives that you partner with the organizations, but when you talk about partnership, what does that partnership look like?
So it can look like anything. I always tell everybody, and I tell my staff on a day-to-day basis, you can't do everything, but you can do something. So figure out the something. So with some organizations, they just need volunteers. So I can be out at Habitat building a house one day.
Mm-hmm.
Some organizations, they need funding. So we can write a check. Some organizations are having a fundraiser and want chicken wings. We got chicken wings. Some people want thought leaders or just your brand so that it can attract other brands. So I will go and talk to the people, like whatever it is that you need. It's out of our marketing department. Stephanie does an outstanding job of it because I can't do that in operations full time. It's just at the same 24 hours as Beyonce.
I love it.
But I think that you have to figure out how to do something, and you would be surprised at how people react once they realize Hooters is in the community. And whenever people try to talk crazy to me about my job or have things to say, which they're perfectly entitled to, I'm just like, well, what restaurant is doing what we do?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I never thought, but to me, I would have loved the Hooters girls to come out to some of my events volunteering. That would have got more men to come out. And we need the Black brothers coming out in the community. Jarrell, amen. And I'm just saying this.
Well, you have my contact information, so there's no excuse if you have another event. Your people need to hold you accountable, and your listeners need to hold you accountable.
Listen,
you have a connect.
Well, you know,
if you don't do it, it's because you didn't do it.
Well, Andrea, you know, right after this show, I already got a full list of things I need. So trust me. Beyond the lunch you brought me, I'm ready. You know, but no, when we met, and shout out, I have to share that I met Andrea in Nashville when I went to Nashville for the Uncle Nearest tour, and it was a wonderful time. I came back and talked about all the great people like yourself that I met, and I was determined to keep those relationships open by letting the people that I met come on the show to talk about the great things they're doing. And our platform has a lot of nonprofits and community groups that need support, and like you said, just didn't think I could call Hooters, and Hooters can be a great community partner. Because listen, if it's food, if it's volunteers, if it's a fundraiser you're hosting, funding,
gift baskets. You name it, we do it.
And we need to make sure that the community knows that. So I'm glad you're here on the Brunch Bunch. So you're the company's chair of their DEI Council.
Yes.
Talk about that. What does that do? What does it look like?
So to me, that's just holding ourselves accountable. I think that people have weaponized that term so much. And it's just like, what is wrong with diversity? What is wrong with equity? What is wrong with inclusion? But people make it seem like it's to hurt somebody else when really it's to help.
Right.
So
to help the people that's been hurt for so long.
Exactly. For me, we're a neighborhood restaurant in communities. Why are we not helping? Why are we not recognizing talent and helping them? You know, everybody doesn't have the same education level. Everybody doesn't have the same opportunities. How can we help them get there? And I tell people all the time, I worked at Hooters for forever. You don't have to, but take the transferable skills. So how are you mentoring? How are you doing all that? And it's just keeping those ideas at the executive level so that they always flow down to the hourly level. I
love it. And I'm excited to know that you're leading that council, because I know you're going to make sure that everybody's taken care of.
Yes.
And Facebook is like, wait a minute. I never knew Hooters was community minded. Yep. And so that's good. And you know, our people perish for a lack of knowledge. And I'm not just talking about Black people. I'm talking about people, period. That's the Bible, right? And sometimes we don't know because we don't have the platform to share. So I'm glad that the Brunch Bunch is here to share Hooters platform and their community initiatives. What advice would you give young professionals aspiring to advance in the hospitality industry?
That is a great question. I think start with being consistent, be obsessed with the customer experience. Again, the customer is not always right, but they're always the customer. Yep. So you need to make sure you're taking care of them and don't take it personally. And also be patient with yourself, because your journey is yours. Just because you don't see movement, it doesn't mean that God is not moving through you. Because if you would have told me then what was going to happen, I would have never been able to see this far ahead. But all the little steps and things that I did for many, many years behind the bar serving beer and chicken wings, they all help me right now in this moment.
Wow. Don't despise small beginnings.
No.
You know what?
Those are the best.
Those are the best. And it's stories like yours that our young people really need to hear. Because, of course, I say it all the time, my young people can only be what they see, right?
Yes.
And if they don't see a beautiful, smart African-American woman in leadership at Hooters, they may think maybe that's unattainable. But you're showing them that it is attainable.
Thank you.
Well, listen, Andrea, what has been your proudest moment in your career with HMC Hospitality Group so far?
I have had a lot.
That's a good thing.
Very, very fortunate. As of recent, it was my nomination in the Illinois Restaurant Association, because those are not Hooters people. I got nominated by hospitality leaders.
Wow.
And that's huge.
Well, congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. And the work that they do in the community, Hooters is giving away a scholarship on Saturday with them, as a matter of fact. The work that they're doing is gratifying because it's on the business side. It's just, you see them doing so much in the community, just helping culinary students and students in underserved areas. But those weren't my people. Like, it's easy for the people to work with me say that they like me. That's great, and think that I'm amazing. Like,
well, that's a good thing.
But to see people that don't work with me, and people that may not have thought of Hooters that way, and think that I'm somebody that needs to be on these boards advising people.
That's a big deal. Illinois Restaurant Association. That is a congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, you're making waves. Looking ahead, what are your goals for the future, both for yourself and for HMC?
I want to continue to grow in my career. I'm sure I will with the company. And I want to see the company continue to do more in the community and build more leaders. I think me being built and the people that believed in me when I didn't even know to believe in myself for it was a game changer. You know, you have mentors and then you have sponsors. People are going to leverage their personal credibility to say, she's the one. I was not the popular choice. I mean, I don't even look like the other people and had none of the skill sets. So to me, I want to see more of that in our company, because I know that it can change somebody's life in a big way.
Well, you know, the leader side, I can refer some nice people. We're going to be sending some people to Hooters for jobs, because this is a great opportunity. Now, on the community side, you ain't going to have to call nobody else after you talk to me. I got you. I get the checkbook ready. We outside. No, but listen, I love when corporations are doing good in the communities that they're in and the communities that support them.
Correct.
Because unfortunately, in the Black community, we have a lot of stores that are in our community, thrive off our community, and give nothing back to the community. And so when you see major corporations like Hooters putting people like you in leadership positions, supporting you, training you, giving you opportunities, and for you to give back is amazing. And you sit on the board of Polished Pebbles, which we talked about, and it's a mentoring program for young ladies, and I know they're honored to have you. And shout out to my sister Shauna, who's also on the board of Polished Pebbles. You know, but you guys are doing some amazing work. Andrea, thank you for joining us today on the show.
Thank you.
I have enjoyed this interview. You're easy to talk to.
Thank you.
And she is a ball of fun. Andrea, if anybody wants to connect with you or Hooters, or how can they connect and reach out?
So I'm going to make it easy. Just reach out to me. My work email is andrea.hill@originalhooters.com. And I will connect you to our marketing department that spearheads everything. Stephanie Cruz is going to take care of you, but her email is a little longer than mine. Easy. andrea.hill@originalhooters.com.
Now, why is it Original Hooters?
Because we are the original founders. The original founders that lived in Chicago Heights, believe it or not, a couple of them.
Wow.
They thought of the concept. They sold it to Hooters of America in Atlanta. That's a much bigger company, but we are the original founders. We have the original store.
Wow.
And all the original recipes. Everything is original, and you cannot beat an original.
You cannot beat an original. Thank you so much. Woo-hoo. Make some noise for Andrea Hill. You know, here on the Brunch Bunch is always our aim to send you back better than you came. And I believe after this interview, you have been enlightened, you've been encouraged, and you've been educated. And now that you know that Hooters, the original Hooters, is making it happen in the community. Thank you again, Andrea. They like post our info. The comments on Facebook are going wild. They are so excited. And I can't multitask, but I can do this task. I can tell you, in the words of the songwriter Glorilla, At the end of the day got to end. I'm out of time, but we're never out of content. We encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Tell someone that you do know that you love them. Love will begin to spread like a wildfire. Tamara Fair, who's not on the air, I love you. Believers, we love you. Baby Eminem, we love you. Andrea, we love you. Up next, AC Green. After that, Pastor DeAndre Patterson with the afternoon drive. We get it done all night long right here on Inspiration 1390. Woo! What an interview. We love her and so proud.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Love y'all, Bruns. Post her info, please. Yes. Eval, I'll make sure Justice DMs it to you. Well, she gave that email, but I don't want the people who wasn't listening to get it. They had to be toned in to get it. So we're gonna DM you. We won't want her blowing up like that. See y'all tomorrow.